to promoting public speaking and leadership and health is very inspiring. We see him as a capable, confident, and fluent, never at a loss for words. But what you probably don't know is that this man once stuttered. Okay, Greg. You were temporarily paralyzed, struck dumb by the mere thought of standing in front of an audience to speak. How you went from awkward, tongue tied, and unhealthy to eloquent and fit is the story you're going to share with us this afternoon. Your credentials include professional engineer, project manager, distinguished Toastmaster, and certified genealogist. We make choices from the time we wake up until the time we retire or expire. Today, we will learn how your choices, Greg, formed you into the best person you are. Fellow chamber members and guests, please help me welcome Greg Danko. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. I see a lot of familiar faces. Laura, I've known Laura for about 20 years. Weldon, I've known Weldon for ages. He's my computer guy. It was a choice I had to make, and it was a good choice. So I'm really happy that Weldon is here. I've heard of Dawn also because she's with Ohio Means Jobs. So I'm really excited to see Dawn here also today.
That's awesome. Homecoming.
Attitude is a choice. Happiness is a choice. Optimism is a choice. So is kindness. Let's not forget about giving. Well, what about respect? Whatever choice you make makes you. So you need to choose wisely. And choices are never fun, but it's something that we have to do every waking moment. We might be in situations where we've had to choose between is it left? Is it right? Is it high? Is it low? Is it stay? Is it come? Is it yes? Is it no? It's all about the choices we make. We make choices from the time we wake up until the time we retire or expire. Now, my good friend Larry borrowed a phrase from me 21 years ago, and if I would have chosen correctly to charge him for every time he used that phrase, I probably would be sleeping, eating, and maybe dressing a little bit better. That phrase was this: you have a choice in life of being average or being excellent. Now, if excellent is your only option, how can you settle for being average? Have any of us messed up along the way? Have we made mistakes that have served as stepping blocks? Now, beside that prior phrase, I want you to keep the following in mind. Your life changes. Your life changes the moment you make a new, a congruent, or a committed decision. Because there is a difference between commitment and being committed by your friends and family. You're in charge of your future with one of them, and the other one, they take you to a far place. My original focus for decades was brains over brawn. I was more of an intellect back in the day. I was called a dweeb. It was all about getting designations for me. I earned an associate's degree, a bachelor's, a master's in mechanical engineering. I passed the professional engineer's exam the first time around, which is difficult to do. Also the project management exam, maybe the third time around on that. And most recently, a certified genealogist. That was a 20-year journey, but it was a good choice that I made. And then after studying my butt off and eating lunch every day with clients, things started to change with me. I make reference to my health. I started to resemble an M&M. Now, not necessarily the peanut M&M, rather the plain M&M, the small one. Because there is a difference between the two. The peanut, again, is more universal, and the plain is more global. And I always thought I was in shape because round is a shape. Now, growing up was difficult, filled with a house full of goodies. I chose to consume goodies as a child. I was often left alone in a house, and I didn't have to hide in no closet to eat a whole big bag of M&Ms. That was my choice. I had a lot of good friends growing up, so I used to play with all my friends as a child. Well, let me step back a little bit. They used to play with me. Do you remember the Oompa Loompas from Willy Wonka? Oompa Doompa Doo. I wasn't one of them. You remember Violet, the girl, the purple girl that got, I was between an Oompa Loompa and Violet, minus the color purple. My friends had tipped me onto my side because they were playing with me. I was the object of non-affection. They used to roll me driveway to driveway. Now they were having fun, but me, I was dizzy from all that rocking and rolling. They would roll me driveway to driveway, down the driveway, down the sidewalk, past the stop sign, past Marks, into the field in Garfield Heights. Then the 1970s set in, and that was the decade that more inflation set in. And I chose at that time to let it get the worst of me. Now, sports activities helped me in the progress of controlling that rate of inflation. I ended up wrestling in high school, getting pinned through every match until I became a senior, and then I had went undefeated. I didn't go to states, but I also was undefeated. So that was a choice that I had to do. I had to learn how to wrestle, and I chose to learn from my mentor, the living legend of professional wrestling, Bruno Sammartino, when he came to Cleveland, and he showed me the right way to wrestle and not get pinned by using my center of gravity, my center of gravity was there, you can say. So I had to trim down. And then I learned through personal choice that taking clients out to lunch and working 12 hours a day would add to that inflation, because I don't necessarily have to eat steak and potatoes when I take clients out. I remember sitting on the edge of the bed back in early 2018, and my ankles were playing music. It sounded like Rice Krispies, snap, crackle, and pop. And this went on every day, and it would take me 10 to 15 minutes to get out of bed just to put socks on. The doctor had told me I would be walking with a cane by the end of 2018, if not a walker. So I had some choices to consider. I eventually signed up for high intensity interval training out in Parma, Ohio. Now, how am I going to lose weight eating all those pierogies? But I learned all the routines. I learned the lunges, the squats, and the burpees, and all the massive sweating that would go from head to toe. My goal was to win, so I had to choose correctly. I remember sitting in that room with all the new members, and they asked us, what was our why? What was our reason for joining and doing high intensity? And they went one after another. And I sat all the way in the back so I could observe. I was a little shy. That's what I like to refer to. The plan was, if you could lose 20 pounds in 6 weeks and hit your goal, we'll give you the money back. So the first person, when asked, I'm doing this for my kids. I want to be able to get down on the ground and get up after playing with them. One person said, my boss, my friends. So after they got back to me, they asked me, what's your why? And I said, I want my money back. Didn't you hear what he said? If you lose 20 pounds every 6 weeks and hit your goal, my goal was only 41.5 pounds. We'll give you your money back. Well, I'm happy to say that in 12 weeks, 52.2 pounds. All because of a choice that I made. The only issue was developing a preventative maintenance routine afterwards. And that includes walking backwards, because walking backwards is one of the best exercises. People have asked me in the gym, I'm that guy at the gym that you see walking backwards a lot. People have asked me, what does that do, that walking backwards? And I tell them, it helps, it serves two muscle groups, the eyes and the thighs. It works on your calves. And while walking backwards, I get to watch all the pretty girls come in, because I'm backward and they're walking right by me. Say, hey, thank you for coming in today. Thanks for joining us. Have a nice day. So it works on two muscle groups. What were your choices? Are your choices congruent with mine? Is it a new choice? Is it a committed decision for you? Commitment is another thing I'd like to touch on briefly, because I'm in this really great relationship right now. I met my fiance about 2 years ago, and I wouldn't want to do this all over again with another person. She has been instrumental in me making good choices, good decisions. Have you ever heard that expression that you're driving your significant other crazy? Well, I don't drive her crazy. I drive her to do lunges, squats, and burpees, because we do classes together on a routine basis. That's what keeps us in touch with each other. We chose each other. It was a good choice. We have a lot in common. We are the oldest in the family out of our siblings. We do communication and leadership skills together. We are both members of Toastmasters International, a not-for-profit group that helps you improve your communication and your leadership skills. Both of us compete in speech contests, evaluation contests. Yes, you heard that right. We compete against each other. And it's good having friendly competition every so often. She's introduced me to stand-up comedy. We've been on stage at the Improv. We're getting ready to do a Zoom comedy performance in the middle of December that you're all invited to. And we're going live, hopefully in February, when they let us in, and we just make everyone laugh beyond their wildest dreams. So again, let me recap by saying, attitude is a choice. Happiness is a choice. So is optimism. Kindness is also included on that list, and giving. Well, what about respect? That's a choice. Whatever choice you make makes you. Madam President.
That was awesome. That was